So where are the children? It's been one entire month since the Lahaina fire, and officials are still giving families and the public no real information. No update on the death toll, which they're now saying is anywhere between 115 and 385. Also, no information about the missing children or their parents. No updates from the DNA matches that Police Chief Pelletier was rapidly collecting.
She and another sister on the mainland did DNA swabs weeks ago. She filed a missing persons report with police too. She's been asking for 10 days if her DNA matches any of the 115 remains.
We've never got that information.
And still no proper relief from the government. The public remains left in the dark with no idea how many are actually missing. What we can assume is that the number is much higher than the 385 the government is claiming, and much higher than the less than 50 active missing person cases that Governor Josh Green is saying. As we've seen, the official number makes wild jumps down from the over 2,000 kids that were originally missing. It also doesn't match up with the latest stats from the Department of Education, which says out of 3,000 students enrolled in West Maui, approximately 1,200 remain undetermined.
33, we're tracking new developments regarding West Maui schools. Now, here are the latest stats from the Department of Education. Before the fire, there were 3,001 students enrolled in that area. Since then, 778 have re-enrolled in other schools. 874 have signed up for distance learning. 129 are now enrolled in charter or independent schools. 12 have withdrawn. Now that leaves about 1,200 students that the DOE is actively trying to contact.
Nick Sorter said, at a minimum, I believe officials are definitely hiding the real numbers, especially for missing, from the people of Maui, hoping this story goes by the wayside and their grip of power becomes less threatened. Families are left with more and more unanswered questions with each passing day.
Those who have been searching for clues about what happened to their loved ones are frustrated with the lack of answers from officials.
Yeah, Bridget, a lot of family members flew to Maui searching for answers and for their loved ones, and now many of them are leaving with more questions and with heartache.
There are hundreds of families who don't know what's going on. They're unable to come here. They're getting bits and pieces of information, and there needs to be a hub.
Are there children that have been found, and is there any hesitance to announce that, because that'll obviously just be a different level of heartbreak?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. How many children are missing? You know.
If I knew the answer to that, I would be happy to answer that.
You have no estimate as to how many children are missing?
I guess
Nothing?
we can end this right now if you guys want. Sorry.
This is one of the biggest questions that the people of Lahaina have, but you don't want to answer.
It always takes one or two to ruin it for everybody.
Please, this is our first one. This is our only
Well, we could say that about you. You ruined it for everyone.
You're welcome to say it. You're the media. You can say whatever you want.
You're a disaster.
All right. Okay.
Please.
You've been the worst mayor we could possibly imagine.
You won't even wait.
Respect what? This is the most dismal response we've ever had.
You won't wait for your turn. You want to shout over these guys who are legitimate.
Why don't you give them the real answers then? Give them the real answers.
That's not his question.
Let him.
Yeah. You can go. Yeah.
Oh.
And then they're lying to us about the people and the children. That's what a lot of people have been contacting me, because they want to know what happened to the kids. Well, all you got to do is extrapolate. There's 3,001 students in Lahaina. 1,000 of them have been accounted for. They're going to either alternative schools or online. That's 2,000 children not accounted for. And this has been weeks afterwards. And they're talking about 100 or maybe 850 or 1,100 that are missing. It doesn't add up.
Nothing adds up.
Nothing adds up.
I mean, no pun here, but it seems kind of fishy, don't it, Fish?
Very fishy.
Very fishy.
And
still don't have any answers regarding the school buses as well. I had mentioned the buses on a video a few days ago, assuming you had seen the video on it already. I left you all with questions, so this next video you're about to see has no audio, but if you read along, it will explain the school bus mystery. If school was canceled that day, as they tell us, wouldn't the buses be lined up in the parking lot since they weren't in use? Footage has surfaced of a long line of school buses evacuating from Lahaina.
The fact that you couldn't come to Lahaina for weeks after the fire, there was no media that was allowed in, there was no supplies you could bring in, they build a fence, you can't fly a drone over for weeks.
Can't ask about children.
I mean, it just goes on and on and on. The list is so long, and that's why when I read this book, I was like, this is the first document that I read that kind of, you know, it's like the tip of the iceberg still, I'm sure, but it gives you all.
One viewer commented saying, the government can declare the number of missing at any number they want, whatever makes them look best. There's no way to check their numbers. The higher the number, the more embarrassment and litigation they'll face. So they try to keep this number as low as possible.